what's up? Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good? Red Panda Anthem. It's your boy.
My man got a chimpanzee and a tiger in the back fighting. Bubbles, sit down.
When in London.
Boy.
Like Tyson in 88.
Yo.
Let me ask you this, though, because...
This is the thing about recording live, though. Let me ask y'all, how do y'all travel and, for real, like, be able to do all this content? I'm tired and I'm not there.
It's taxing.
I told you, man. We got this.
It's taxing and it's tolling.
And we travel with the studio, man. The studio is anywhere we land. That's the studio.
Yep.
Like,
gotta be nimble.
Before we came on, I showed you the makeshift studio that we did. I'm like, yo, looks great, sounds great. Let's do it.
But the one thing is, you only when you give yourself no other option but to get things done, then you have to get it done. Like if it's like an optional situation, like, oh, market Mondays, if we're traveling, we're not going to do it. Like, people have become used to us putting out every single week at the same exact time. So what that does is it forces you.
Hard accountability.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, you got to do it, because if not, then if you leave it up
Don't leave while you're hot. That's how Mace screwed up.
I'm telling you, I mean, and it's tough, but that's one, like, when people ask, what's the key? We always say consistency. Like that is it. We had dinner earlier and I looked at him, I seen the look and I was like, yeah, something just hit me too, bro. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. We got to go. We can.
I look fine, them coats though.
We got this.
Appreciate it. Yeah, but people don't understand. Like,
we got this.
You travel all day. We came from New York. We traveled all day. It's 5 hours.
Left Atlanta.
Just left Atlanta.
Legendary.
We're going to talk about that.
Say that to the end. Stay tuned.
Shout out to Steve Harvey, Mr. Harvey.
Yeah.
S.H. Mr. H is Mr.
H.
But this Kanye thing is interesting too. Let me ask you about this, because so he said last week, please stop asking me about NFTs. I'm not doing NFTs. I'm only concentrating on building things in the real world and real world application. I think he's a little misinformed by his statements, and then he dropped something like this, which essentially can be repackaged as an NFT. Really, if he did it in that, and he probably would have been more profitable.
Yeah, but is he misguided though? Or
he would have more control?
Or is he just taking it
misinformed?
Or I'm even saying, is he misinformed, or is he Jamie
It's
Dimon?
The same thing I said with JP Morgan.
Right?
I cannot reveal. Can we just have honest conversation? We can't reveal real plans to the public. But it would be too typical for him to hop on that wave and not have been an innovator in it. So as a creator, it's smart to go physical. And same thing with me. In the world of everyone's talking about NFT. I'm like, let me do more physical. When people come physical, I want to do more digital. The bundling thing that's always been my model. Stock Club, like. And wait till y'all see these new rollouts that come out in end of March. Oh, baby. Whew. We got to get Dame credit, because Dame tries to do this with Rockbox. Doesn't get the credit. Does not get the credit. Dame, I'll give you a credit now. And then y'all let Steve, like, I don't know how they turned down Napster. And I tell this to everybody in the music industry. How have you guys not bought a streaming service or music player yet? You guys didn't buy LimeWire, didn't buy Napster. You let Steve Jobs come in to tear your whole industry apart and adapt. Warner, Universal, nobody has a player for just their artists. How? It doesn't make sense. But for my business owners, find ways to innovate. And I'm going to be real, even with the top companies, outside of Apple, Google, Microsoft, which are really enterprise, Amazon, really enterprise, and shrewd business people on the other end because of all the data that they have, most companies are not innovating very well. Twitter, Clubhouse fell apart. Most companies are not great. So I ask you guys, put it in chat. Name me a company that you guys buy from or subscribe to that just overwhelms you with greatness every time you buy from them. It's not many. There's a huge gap. There's a huge gap to be filled.
I think you got something there, Ian, with the licensing. I think you got something with the STEM player licensing. But it'll take an established artist who's willing to say, I'm going to take the chance with it.
Yeah, but the whole thing is he still could have done an NFT though, because he's still, no matter how you slice it, he's still not going to be able to get royalties off of the sell of the thing.
Of the music itself?
Yeah.
Not
the sell is really the product itself. I think the music is just something that comes with it.
Well, even the product itself. Imagine he could, I don't know. I just feel like if he would have embraced the digital space a little bit more, he could have had something that would have probably made more money, but even bigger than the money, because he's already a billionaire, so it's not really about the money so
10.
much. He could have actually laid a blueprint, a real blueprint.
Yeah.
Can I play devil's advocate?
In the music business. Yes.
What Kanye's genius, and if we're talking about equity and closing the racial wealth gap, if he did it NFT, why would he do it on OpenSea and he owns no equity?
Well, that's a good question. And shout out to 19 Keys. I was talking to 19 Keys today, and he was talking about, it's funny you say that. I had a conversation with 19 Keys today, and he was saying that the next step is actually building a play. He was like, it's not really that
I'm gonna set the
hard.
screen, but don't shoot yet.
So that's important.
Yeah.
Creating platforms and creating marketplaces, right? To understand the difference between the two. We don't have any, and there's no reason.
None.
You see what I'm saying?
And then we'll be like, well, Rogan said the N-word 12 years ago. I'm upset. They gave that boy 200, not 100, 200.
200.
Because they wanted to leverage his assets to get the deal done with Tesla.
It was reported at 100 million, but then now the reports are saying that it was actually
110 cash.
But that's what
drop the check.
Incentives though, right? It was like 100 in cash, and then 100 with like stock
200.
200.
And then I always tell everyone, and it's one account, and I know, Chad, you probably don't want me to say it, but even with ad deals, if you guys wouldn't take an advertising deal for $1,000 a month, why are you letting somebody sponsor your show for $500 a month when that is an endorsement deal? Joe Rogan owned, and we had this conversation. Man, Shotty was mad at me, and I'm like, I'm trying to explain it the kindest way, but I got the dame in me. I'm like, we got to get more equity out of these. I don't want them to use us because I come from advertising. The advertising side looked at the companies that let us place media like prostitutes. Like, why would you put we worked our entire lives to build credibility and reputation to then endorse it for what? For a sliver of ad? Nah. I think he needs to build his own platform. And I think even with this initial rollout, he will. And shout out to Primus, like, he got some people behind him that's probably gonna roll something out, but I don't want us to keep. And I know it was, on y'all YouTube page, it was a brother like, yo, you talking about conspiracies with the monkeys and the apes? Gary Vee's my guy. I don't like the ape with the Coogee and the gold tooth. That's not it. It's not the wave. They're selling us imagery of us that we don't agree with, and then telling us it's art so they can wash the money in the gains that they made from crypto. How is that player? That ain't P at all. Yeah, he needs to build a platform, and every Black creator needs to build a platform and collaborate.
That ain't P.
If we don't equity, be good at all.
Yeah, and we're not going to discount the fact that yes, they offered him 100 million, but his work is worth more than that, and so that's why he didn't take the deal.
And he had leverage. Yeah, that's why I keep telling. I know you guys be like, y'all get tired of you pounding and ranting. No more rants. Shout out to Rants and Jim. That's the only ranting we doing. 2022, we building, right? But when you have equity and you have freedom, I'm telling you guys this because if we have one more bad leader that comes into office, America's going to be in trouble. America's going to be in trouble. And now we have, and it was created, we have this big class war between the people that are super rich versus those who are fed up and don't want to get mistreated. So now everyone's saying, hey, I'm not going to go to work, and they're going to wage war, push some of the inflation stuff into what's coming. They're doing it to create a bigger divide. So we have to build faster. Let's talk more building. Yeah, I talked to 19 when I was leaving too. And the energy he was on, I'm like, That's why I was like, hey, let's do it in silence and we'll be good. But for all my entrepreneurs and business people, build your own platforms, build leverage, and then you can walk away and only take the deals that suit you.
This that Red Panda Anthem. Ian, what's up? This that Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good? Red Panda